All right. SwimNinja.com here with the McLean coaching staff. You go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us your position.
I'm Coach Riley Pfadenhauer, and I'm the head coach this summer.
Hi, I'm Coach Liddy McCulla, and I'm the assistant head coach this summer.
All right, Riley and Liddy, would you tell us a little bit about your swimming and coaching background?
Absolutely. So started swimming here at MSTA. I was like a mere youngster, like 4 or 5. Got in with our Future Marlins program, which is our developmental program. Just fell in love with the sport, fell in love with the spirit of the pool, and just got hooked ever since. And then in the winter, started swimming for York growing up. And then I swam high school for my Langley high school team, was captain of my high school team senior year. Started coaching with Norman Swim Club when I was a junior in high school. Got hired to be an assistant coach here that summer, and then have transitioned into the head coaching role this summer.
Just like Riley, I started on the swim team too when I was 4 or 5 years old, back at Future Marlin. I grew up on the swim team, started club swimming when I was 10, then started coaching for Norman Swimming, started working here with the developmental program, and then I became an assistant coach a couple years ago, and here I am now in a head coaching position.
Great. So it's clear that you guys have a lot of fun here at McLean. Tell us a little bit about your traditions that you've enjoyed growing up with and how you keep that alive and growing now as coaches.
So we think the most important thing about swimming in this team is the traditions we build. We make it very clear that the bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich, colloquially known as the BLT, is not to be eaten for lunch. It is a breakfast item and should only be served as such. It's something you learn when you're 8 and under on this team, and it's something that it's true. I mean, it's, oh, that burns.
We also like to make sure that our coaches and our swimmers, our muscles, are all well equipped for our coaching jobs and for our races. So we have a long tradition of Bengay here. I think Coach Riley can give us a little explanation.
We teach them young on that it's the sauce that makes you fly, right?
Yeah, B-E-N-G-A-Y, it's the sauce that makes you fly. We just like to have fun, and we like to teach the kids from the very beginning that fun is the most important thing about swimming. We both learned on this team that swimming can be a fun sport, and it doesn't have to be individual, and it doesn't have to be boring.
All right, and beyond the breakfast sandwich debate and having fun, help us I guess create a little bit of a better picture for us. What happens in the regular season, week to week, that you guys do to keep things interesting? Whether that's Friday night or Saturdays at meets, or even on Monday nights with their whole team.
So Monday nights, just with the coaching staff, we have a little ongoing bet. Once butterfly starts every meet, we put a couple dollars in a pot and we all bet on what time the meet's going to end, and we kind of go from there.
Some of us NCAA athletes do not participate in that betting because that's not allowed.
Good to know. Good disclaimer.
So NCAA.
We had to do fun different activities every week. Some week we'll have a pancake breakfast. This past week we did a wing night at Buffalo Wing Factory for the 13 and overs. So we really just try to have fun activities as the year goes along and kind of switch it up from week to week.
We like to keep it interesting, keep the kids engaged, especially in practice too. We try not to do the same thing every day. We do different drills, different patterns of racing, just things that'll keep them engaged and happy and having fun.
I walked in and one of your assistant coaches was telling me that your Sharks and Minnows is a really central part of the youth development, and that oftentimes practice continues well after the coaches even walk off the pool deck. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Do you want to take this one?
Oh, sure. So yeah, that's been a tradition for a long time. Even when I started and I was 5 years old and I couldn't even make it all the way across the deep end underwater, we've been playing Sharks and Minnows after practice. Riley and I will come to the pool to teach a private lesson or just to hang out with our families, and there's the whole team playing Sharks and Minnows again.
It is very important to note, though, that sharks do not eat minnows, nor have they ever eaten minnows. They live in completely different parts of the ocean. We think it's very important to know that the game should be named Sharks and Seals.
Okay.
We keep it real on this team, too. We don't lie to the kids.
So you guys have a lot of ideas for keeping things fresh. How do you think that helps your team perform, just being able to go out and compete, especially since it is a youth sport?
So the most important thing is having fun. If kids are having fun, they will swim faster. I think we've seen that week in and week out. We swim a lot of teams that are a lot bigger than us, have a lot nicer pools, a lot more amenities, and sometimes it's kind of intimidating to go in there. But if you tell your kids, have fun, this is just for fun, go out there, race, and do your best, we'll get best times. And it's worked so far, and something we try to continue doing.
We definitely have a tradition of fun on this team, and we've seen it happen over and over again, that kids swim faster when they're having a good time. So we want to keep them engaged and happy and enjoying themselves.
Well, McLean's had no shortage of success over the past few years, and you've been in division for a number of years now, as well as a lot of top swimmers. What do you think McLean offers for some kids who are very serious year-round swimmers and have the opportunity to come and compete on the summer team?
We've both had, I think the coaching staff here, from our head coaches all the way down to our assistant coaches, have had really good experience learning how to race and learning how to sprint. And it's a lot different than a lot of kids. We have a lot of kids that swim distance in the winter. We have a lot of good open water swimmers, a lot of distance freestylers. And it's good because we can teach them to come in and we can teach them to race. We can teach them the fundamentals of having fast starts, fast turns, working on breath control, and just really going in there and racing their fastest.
Definitely. And as a club and college swimmer, I find that NVSL swimming is so much different than anything we ever do. And the training is different, the type of racing is different, and the attitude has to be different too. And sometimes in club swimming, it can get a little dull, and you can get stuck in a rut.
Sure.
But then people come to this pool, and especially even like our fastest club swimmers, they come to this pool and they have fun and they race and they put their head down, they move their arms fast, and they just have a good time.
So do you think that there's a connection between people who swim summer league and just inherently learning how to race at a young age, giving them somewhat an edge, especially in your higher experiences?
I would definitely say so.
Yeah, I'd say a lot of times when kids start swimming in the winter, they can form a lot of bad habits just when they start swimming more and more distances, just because when they're swimming distances, they can form bad habits in practice. So we try to reinforce at a young age in the summer good habits in practice that transition to races on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then let's talk a little bit about what the complete Marlin experience is. Walk us through a little bit where your youngest swimmers joined the team and their, total progression.
You want me to take this?
Yeah, sure.
So when a little one joins the team, they usually start off at Future Marlins. They'll be anywhere between maybe like 3 and 6.
Wow.
Sometimes a little older, usually not any younger. And they come on to Future Marlins, and they don't really know what being on a swim team is all about. And they're just there for fitness or because their parents want water safety. And the job of the Future Marlin coaches is to teach them that swimming is not only about making it across the pool, it's about being fast and competitive and having a good time and racing your teammates. So they start there. And then as the kids move up through the team, we give them more and more responsibility. They grow as athletes, they grow as people, and then eventually they'll make it up to the top. They'll make it onto the coaching staff like we have, and the development still continues with us.
Yeah, I think one thing about our pool is it's really important. We have a lot of coaches. All of our coaches on our coaching staff swam from this team from the Future Marlin age up through seniors and up and graduated with this team. And when younger kids see that, it keeps them engaged and it keeps them interested, and it's good. It really helps build a strong program.
And I think we talked about this just before we came on camera here, but Future Marlins also seems to be a place that you guys are furnishing your future coaches as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So our Future Marlins program is coached by the 13 and over senior swimmers on the team. Coach Liddy and I both got our start coaching there, coaching the Future Marlins, and it's a good opportunity for the 13 and overs to stay involved with the team and to get a good experience coaching that they can use to go coach for other clubs and then hopefully come back here as an assistant head coach and head coach one day.
Definitely.
Okay. I guess my last few questions are, being in Division I, there's obviously a very high level of competition. However, everybody defines success differently. What would be a successful season for you all?
A successful season for us would be, I don't know.
And that can be competitively as well as non-competitively, broad terms.
A successful season for us is a high level of engagement for swimmers that don't always swim on Saturdays, for senior swimmers coming to meets, and for everyone to have a good time. There's a lot of pressure to do well, but we want to take a lot of pressure off the swimmers, let them know it's okay. You're swimming against a lot of really fast kids. Go out there and enjoy the competition.
I completely agree with that. For me, a perfect season would be one where everybody enjoys themselves and everybody wants to come back. Because we've grown up on this team and we know what it's like to come home to that family every summer. And I want every single kid to have that same experience.
Yeah, we want when we're swimming on Saturdays and we're swimming divisional relay carnivals, I want the kids on our team to look around and be like, I wouldn't want to be on any of these other teams. No matter how fast they are, they know the Marlins is the best team that they could be on.
Okay. And for some of your more competitive swimmers, are there age groups, are there individual athletes that are, worth watching for this summer?
Yeah, I'd say we have a pretty strong 13-14 boys age group this summer. We got a lot of fast kids in there. And then also up and down our roster, you'll look at kids, you'll see maybe not the fastest club swimmer, maybe doesn't swim the most club, but they'll come this summer and they'll turn it on in the summer. I think it's I can't really think of name an age group, but more, the kids down the roster that step up big in the summer.
Yeah.
Definitely. We have a lot of people who don't necessarily swim in the winter, like Riley said, but who are here and who are ready to race. And our job is to coach them up and to make sure that they are ready and they're excited about their races, no matter who they're up against.
Sure. What are you most excited for in the coming weeks?
Watching these guys, watching these guys be themselves. I know that whenever I turn around or whenever I'm looking at these kids, they're going to be having fun, and it's just something that it's great. I love coaching this pool, although, I mean, this stuff is just great, you know?
Yeah. We just can't wait for everyone to show us how much fun they're having and to see everybody form that family and build those relationships and just have a good time with swimming.
My final question for you all is, I'm sure you're well aware that Andrew Seliskar is performing at an incredibly high level, both between college and now even on like the professional circuit as an amateur still. What do you think having somebody who's swimming at the highest level of competition, like they're just being once a member of this team, how does that help you guys, teach kids about what their future could possibly be? What's his lesson at this pool?
Dreaming big, definitely. And especially with those kids who haven't necessarily ever been the best at anything, they can come in the pool and something totally magical can happen. And Riley and I just want those kids to know that whatever they want to do in any field, any profession, any sport, if they put in all the work and they try their hardest and they keep having a good time and building relationships with their teammates, that they can achieve whatever they want.
Yeah, and that no matter how fast you are or how slow you are, NVSL can be fun for anyone. Andrew was an fast NCSA swimmer, Olympic trial swimmer, and still came to our meets on Saturday morning and did his best. So,
well, any closing thoughts from you all before we go off?
Bring it in, guys. Bring it in.
Bring it in.
1, 2, 3, MCLEAN Feast!
Awesome. All right. Well, best of luck this season, guys, and thank you for sitting down with us.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you.